Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I'm going to start with a quick question. And my request to everybody out here is to please respond if it sounds relatable to you. Okay, the question goes like, have you ever seen something online of an event or a party and expected something just for the reality to be different? You expected a perfect party, a perfect debut on stage, just for the reality to be messier, awkward, and maybe even a little disappointing? Raise your hand if that sounds relatable. I'll raise my hand a little higher because it's extremely relatable to me. Go on, raise your hands. Don't be shy. Participate. For me, it was my first MUN. And if you do not know what MUNs are, it is Model United Nations. It's a simulation of United Nations where we learn about diplomacy, debate, negotiations. And my phone sold me a dream. And that dream consisted of delegates wearing sharp blazers, gaveling decisively in grand halls, and their speeches meeting with thunderous round of applause. And that day, I decided I just didn't want to participate. I wanted to step into that movie that my dream made me see. But the reality was different. In reality, the halls were smaller, the debates were chaotic, and me with my meticulously researched binders, I was lost. And that day, I just did not lose. I was dismissed. I was said that I'm not cut out for it. And then I realized that my failure, or failure in general, is no longer a part of a learning process. It's something to be deeply ashamed of. And right there, my friends, that gap between the reality and the perfect world that we see, and the constant juggling and the struggle in between that, I'm exactly here for that today. Good morning once again. Myself, Pekham Mukhopadhyay, currently studying in 11th grade in Delhi Public School, Fulbari. Honored and grateful to be standing out here and to be able to speak about something that I struggled with for years. We are the first generation to be born in this high-definition, airbrushed mirror held up in front of our faces. Now, this mirror isn't reflecting the reality. It's reflecting an algorithm. And what does this algorithm say? It shouts and screams for you to create a perfect version of life, and that we must do it. But what really happens when you grow up in this perfect world? You start seeing the cracks. For me and for millions of others, we live in a life of duality. I like to term it in two stages specifically: the front stage and the backstage. The front stage consisting of the public, polished persona, the world of captions, curated photos, and calculated vulnerability, the MUN superstar. And the backstage, the real, authentic, messy you. The nervousness before the first committee session, the stutters in my speech, and the walk of shame when I first lost my MUN. And what do? We constantly compare our backstage selves with others' front stage, forgetting that they never show their backstage selves. So the parameters of us comparing ourselves are completely different. And at the end, we get demoralized. Now, for me as a teenager, it was too much. And I realized that this just does not live in our phones. It creates something, it reflects onto our lives, right? It creates something that I like to call the perfect performative syndrome. Now, what is this? It's a fancy name, I know, but it creates two specific things. First, it creates a crisis of self-worth. Suddenly, my value depends on how many likes, shares, and comments I get. I loved the picture, I posted it on Instagram, but suddenly, when I did not get the same amount of like, comment, and shares, I hate that picture. I no longer like it. I'm cursing the picture. Why did I take this kind of a picture? And second, it makes us terrified of failure. We are so terrified of failure that we stop taking second attempts in life. But thank God I did not do that. I took a second attempt in MUNs, did pretty good. Again, as a teenager, as a 13-year-old, it was extremely too much for me. So I did something radical. I texted my friend that I am not okay. And I was expecting, normal Gen Z people would expect maybe a like or, oh my God, it's okay, gonna be fine. No, she called me. She said to me, Pekham, even I am not okay. And right there, that one shared imperfection was better than any perfectly curated photo. And then I realized that the mission or the goal is to not break the mirror and shatter it into pieces. It's to redefine the mirror. It's to reintroduce the word and. It's the fact that I post a beautiful sunset picture and admit that I was grumpy the entire hike. It is that I lose my first MUN and admit that I had the courage in me to stand up in front of the stage and speak for the very first time. Life isn't a single curated filter. It's a beautiful mosaic of ants, and it's messy and it's authentic. So next time, when you see anybody living in this perfect world, my request to everyone out here is to be their crack. Because trust me, they are not happy. Thank you and have a great day ahead.